Hi, today we're going to take a look at the first monitor here on LensVid, and this one is going to be from the Asus ProArt series. So let's see what it can do. Today we're going to take a look at the first pro-oriented monitor that we have tested here on LensVid, the Asus ProArt PA329CV, released in late 2021, which is one of the more affordable options from the Asus ProArt line. The Asus ProArt line includes laptops and monitors aimed at content creators with the emphasis on things such as color quality, large color space, HDR, and more. The monitor that we shall be reviewing today is aimed at a wide range of creators with a very reasonable price tag, but how much does it sacrifice on performance in the process? Well, let's find out. Let's start with build and design. The monitor is well built from what looks like hard plastic with a nice textured black color. It has a square heavy base measuring just over 33 centimeters long and 24 centimeters wide that has a swivel of about 30 degrees in each direction. With the base, the monitor weighs just over 12.5 kilograms. The monitor itself is a 32-inch 4K IPS display with a 16:9 aspect ratio measuring over 72 centimeters wide and 42 centimeters tall with bezels. Talking about the bezels, these are fairly typical, measuring 1.5 centimeters at the bottom and about 1 centimeters from all the other sides. Moving over to ergonomics, the monitor can be moved up and down between around 50 to 60 centimeters from the table. If you tilt the monitor a bit, you can also pivot the monitor quite easily between plus 90 and minus 90 degrees. At this point, we would really love to see a gyroscope that will connect to the OS and flip the view like you have on so many other devices. The monitor is also compatible with VESA, so you can use your own arm if you like, just make sure it supports a 32-inch monitor. When it comes to connection, the monitor has a nice set of input including a DisplayPort 1.2 connection, dual HDMI 2.0 connections, headphone jack, and USB-C with 90 watt power delivery option. It also has 4 USB-A ports. As a side note, we are still hoping to see a computer monitor which comes with a separate breakup box for connectors, just like some TVs. When it comes to control, the monitor has 6 buttons and a small joystick on the front. This is very different than a lot of the other monitors which tend to hide them for aesthetic reasons. We like this approach and it is much easier to use and fits with the general professional approach of this monitor. Aside from the on-off button on the left, all the other buttons will bring up the main menu, and so will the small joystick, which can also be pressed. Using the menus takes a little bit of getting used to, but after you get the hang of it, it becomes very simple and quick. There are 11 different modes in the preset menu. Interestingly, the only one which you can choose from the monitor itself is the HDR mode, which you need to turn on from the Windows Display setting menu. The monitor has 4 blue light settings. This might be good for office work to reduce eye strain, but you should turn this off when working on color critical work. The plate menu gives you in-depth control over brightness, contrast, saturation, hue, color temperature, gamma, black levels, and color. This last one is very advanced with 6 options for hue, 6 for saturation, as well as RGB for gain and offset. In the image menu, you can control sharpness, motion artifacts using the Asus Trace Free Slider, the monitor aspect ratio, as well as input range. The monitor has an internal speaker which you can also control from the menu. We usually just turn it off. Next, you have some advanced options for picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture. These can be very nice if you need to connect the monitor to another source. A unique menu that we didn't see in any of our other monitors is called Quick Fit Plus, and it includes things such as safe area, center marker, and even a ruler which you can display on the screen. Finally, you have the option to choose your input source and the monitor settings, which includes a useful option for turning off the monitor power LED indicator if you're sleeping in the same room, for example. If you're interested in the official specs of this monitor, here they are on the screen. Before we go into our own testing of the screen, we wanted to mention our testing equipment. Xrite was kind enough to send us their advanced i1 Photo Pro 3 spectral photometer that has some pretty amazing capabilities, not just for working with monitors but for printing as well. We also worked with our own i1 Display Pro meter, which we use for all our color calibration work, and we use both to test the monitor. By the way, it is worth noting that the i1 Display Pro meter is now sold under the Calibrite brand, but it is essentially the same meter as the one that we have. Using both our Xrite units, we double-checked the brightness and uniformity of the monitor. As you can see, there is certainly more variation than we would like to see here, although to be fair, for such a large monitor at this price point, this is not too uncommon. Peak brightness in the center of the monitor is just under 366. Surprisingly, HDR mode resulted in lower readings. When it comes to colors, we use our i1 Display Pro with a great free DisplayCal software and got the following results in terms of gamut coverage. When it comes to viewing angles, the monitor seems to do a very good job both from the sides and from above, which is where you see some cheaper monitors sometimes struggle. So let's conclude. The Asus PA329CV is a budget ProArt monitor. However, in terms of build quality, ergonomics, and connectivity, it is very well made and we have very little to complain about. The one area where you can see a little of its budget nature compared to some of the higher-end ProArt monitors is when it comes to performance. While its peak brightness is certainly sufficient for any normal workflow, this is not an HDR monitor by any stretch of the imagination, and its uniformity is not great, but you might need to pay significantly more to get that for a panel of this size. On the plus side, color and viewing angles are good, and the control and extra features makes this monitor nice and convenient to work with. Finally, a general observation. Moving from a 27-inch monitor to a 32-inch monitor is simply a huge jump, much bigger than you might expect if you never worked with a 32-inch monitor before, and if you have the space for it, we would highly recommend it. When it comes to pricing, the Asus ProArt PA329CV monitor currently sells for around $780, making it a fairly affordable option for video or graphic-oriented monitor of this size. So that was our look at the Asus ProArt PA329CV. You can check out the full review on LensVid.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.